Okay, let's. I try and talk about positive topics, but positive is learning as well, isn't it? So in this video, we're going to talk about I don't want to play the game anymore. I can't be bothered. I've had enough. I quit. And that could be in so many areas in life, let's be honest. But let's look at it in a mathematical point of view, mixed in with a bit of psychology. Now, a few years ago, I bought this book by a guy called Bernie. I can't remember his first name, but the book was called The Games People Play. And it's about this concept of transactional analysis. And we see this in nature. The faster animal can get to the food quicker than the slightly slower animal. Or the person who is slightly smarter than you will get a job, get a wife, live happily ever after, and you don't. We live in nature is competitive. Nature is dog eat dog. And the same applies in gaming. And in this video, I want to talk about Forex, despondency, and why most people seem to be oblivious to the actual game that they're playing. So my longer video that I did today was about an hour or so. I talked about different aspects of the journey of the game. Now, you might start well in life or start well on your Forex trading journey or whatever, or crypto, and you might be successful. Therefore, psychologically, you will be confident, you will feel good, you will be as high as a kite, And if you're as high as a kite, watch out for the thunder and the lightning. That's all I can say, because this journey, certainly in trading or where there's a random element to it, you're going to have ups and downs, and you could very well conclude, I can't be bothered anymore. I'm too old, I'm too tired to play this game anymore. I quit. But even old folk can feel ecstasy, absolute bliss. It's a feeling. You could be old and tired and knackered and sick to death of everything, and yet still you could suddenly feel absolute bliss. Yeah, you could. As bizarre as it is. Absolute euphoria. I mean, it's strange, isn't it, how we can just go by these feelings. I mean, for me at the moment, I'm in a lot of pain, physical pain, but I can still feel fantastic when the pain isn't there. Anyway, let me pause this video. So, where there is an element of randomness, you could be lucky. Whether it's relationships or making money or getting a job or whatever, or you could go through a difficult patch. And if you're going through a difficult patch, physically or mentally or financially or whatever, the natural reaction is to be depressed. It would be pretty odd if you were euphoric on a sort of downswing. It wouldn't be good either, would it? It's like, oh, I'm losing money, I feel fantastic. As these sort of trading gurus brainwash people into, oh, you're learning, you're making progress, kind of thing. But no, you're losing money. It doesn't feel good. One of the things I realise about any sort of game, whether it's transactional analysis, human games, trading games, poker games, Forex games, crypto games, or whatever, is it does wear you out over time. It's a bit like, even in nature, a little squirrel. Oh, I have to find food again. I have to find food again. Oh, I can't be bothered. Oh, the food makes me feel good when I find it. That's my reward. You can get tired of the game of life. Ultimately, it depends on whether you're nihilistic. you could say, well, life has no meaning. We're all going to die a few billion years from now when the sun turns into a red giant, unless we find our way off planet Earth somewhere else. You could look at it that way. Or you could look at it from moment to moment. I feel absolute euphoric this particular moment in time. Nothing else matters. I'm not bothered about the future or the past, just the present moment. And that is it. So, you know, if you're trading or gaming or relationships or whatever, there's going to be downswings. There's going to be downswings. And the natural reaction is to be depressed, despondent, livid, go insane. Oh, well, I thought I was following the rules. Why is life falling apart? It just does. It just does. And then some people beat themselves up. Some people beat somebody else up, you know, as if that's going to make it better. You know, and with these mathematical games of random trading, let's say, why can we get so much emotion from just ones and zeros? It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Where did the emotion come from? I was actually using, this is a bit of a waffly video, but I was using the new version of ChatGPT, and I thought it's got a very different personality from one or two generations ago. It seems to be a lot more sparky, a lot more alive, a lot more lots of ideas. What about this? What about that? Like a little baby, you know, a little baby, a little toddler walking around. Oh, I want this, I want that. You do this for me, you do that for me. You know, AI does seem to be becoming more quote quote alive. You know, as we give it more neurons to play with, maybe. Billions of neurons, trillions of neurons, you know, simulated neurons. What are we doing? We don't know. We don't know. It's quite an exciting journey, isn't it? Some people think it will kill us all. Other people think it will give us the knowledge to fly to the stars, to find other Earth-like planets. We don't know. But I must admit, when I turn on the news, it does make me feel tired of life. You know, bloody Donald Trump. But then there's good news from Andy Burnham. Bus fares £2 now. For how long? There speaks the sceptic. How long will they be? £2. You know, what he really wants to do is the day pass, because nobody buys a single bus fare just to go somewhere and then not come back. You know, I mean, rarely does that happen. So, you know, it's really getting the day pass under £4. That's the real thing, like what they do in London. I mean, if you're in London, it's actually worth. Why would you buy a single? It amazes me the number of people get on a London bus. I have a single. Yeah, but you're coming back, aren't you? Surely. So why don't you get the day pass? You know, if a day pass is less than 2 singles or whatever, why would you not buy the day pass? They're just lazy. A lot of people, even unemployed people, have got money to burn. Give me a single. Why do you say give me a single? Oh, because everybody else does. Why don't you get a day pass? It's cheaper. That's what he really wants, is to get the day pass cheap. But anyway, so this little chart, this shows a mathematical journey of randomness. On the way up, you're feeling good. When it goes sideways, you feel despondent. When it goes down, you feel depressed. Numbers and emotion. Where does the emotion come from? This is just what 55% looks like. I think what most people want is something more like 60%. It just goes up most of the time. I can handle being happy all of the time, you know. But this is more realistic in trading, 55%. All these YouTube videos with all their lies, 90%, 100%. What a load of crap. What a load of crap. And then, because it is crap, then you will become despondent and depressed because you're chasing a fantasy. You know, it's like, oh, my wife, she's always going to be beautiful, good looking and young. You know, she's always going to be in her peak performance. Maybe not. And that is that. The thing is, you have to play the game that is reality. I mean, I don't have a wife. I've never had a wife. Probably never will. I wouldn't mind a wife, but never going to happen. Probably. I'd like a job, but that's probably never going to happen. I'd like an income, but that's probably never going to happen because of all the trauma I've had in the past. That I'm not going to talk about wasting 20 years of my life in a cult on this channel, but some person might have wasted 20 years in a marriage or 20 years in a dead end job, and then said, "Oh, I'm alive now," or 20 years unemployed. You know, that's reality. I'm sorry to say, reality does actually come with times of depression and despondency. You know, we live in a world where these influencers just want you to be orgasmically ecstatic 100% of the time. That would be pretty hellish if you actually think about it. But anyway, there you go. That's another little waffly video.